ready to get started. So I've got a couple of different colours here. You use whatever you've got left, so it's not a specific colour for this. Although I would say white is a really good sort of base for you to use. But after that, go for anything you want. Right, let's get on then. So let's do these lovely biscuits. This is a lovely gift. So you're having a party and you want to give your friends a nice little gift at the end. This is a really nice thing to do. Now, there it is. Oh, I couldn't find the biscuit. How silly. Now what we want to do is make sure that our biscuit and our cutter are the same size. So if I show you this one, if I can grab it, can you see that this cutter is way too big for the biscuit? Okay, and this one is too small. So we want one that's just right. So there we go. So I'm going to cut my circle out. I'm going to lift the rest. And then I am going to use my knife just to get it off the board. So please be careful if you're using a knife. And then what we want to do is pop, oh dear, all fingers. Want to pop that fondant on our biscuit, just like that. Okay. Now, if you're going to do this ahead, so if your party's in, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks' time, you can make these toppers ahead of time and then put them on the biscuits maybe the night before and pop them in a nice bag. So you can do all this ahead of time and then pop them in an airtight container, keep them safe. Okay, so we've got that there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our black and then I'm going to give it a good old squidge. So a little bit more probably. I'm going to make it into a circle shape, just like that. And then what I want to do is just cut the bottom off there. Okay. And then on he goes like that. Now what we want to do is get a sausage ready. So roll the sausage. You can roll it on the board or in your hand, whatever you feel is more comfortable. And then let's get a bit of white for his other eye, because he's going to have one eye that he can see and the other eye's obviously got his patch on. So a circle, C for cake finger. Just pop it down like that. Okay. So there we go, we want a little dot of black in the middle there. So he can see out that eye and he's got his patch. Drape your sausage over the top like that. And down. Let's add a bit of white to the eye as well, so a little circle there. A little bit of white to the eye. And then we can add a bit of black. We can add a nice smile. So into a sausage, not too much. And then we're going to curl that up into, now you can make this a grumpy pirate or a happy pirate, whatever you think you want to do. Now, I'm going to give mine a red sort of hat to bandana, so give it a good squidge. This one's quite a hard fondant, this one, so nice squidge. And then what we want to do is roll it out. That's it, roll it out like that. Now using the same size cutter that we used, just cut a little half circle in it. And then what we're going to do is just straighten up the edge there, so careful with that knife. And then on to our cookie, like that. And then I'm just going to use this to make a couple of tassels at the end. Now you don't need to do this, he looks fantastic as he is. But I'm just going to cut a triangle out the bottom of there. And I'm going to do the same with the other one as well. So this is just a bit of an added extra, but I think you'll admit he looks lovely, doesn't he? Just the way he is. And then a little triangle out there. And there you have it. There is your pirate cookie. How super duper. So what you can do is put that in a lovely bag, a nice clear bag, and maybe put the child's name on as well, and they can take that home with them after the party. And that's lovely. So what we'll do next is we'll do a nice girly one. Okay, so we've just finished our pirate cookie and we're now going to do a more feminine cookie, I suppose. Any colours that you want to go for, anything you've got left is up to you. I always like white as a really good base, and then you can choose any other colours. So I'm this time going to use a rectangle biscuit, and I'm going to use it upwards like this. And then I need a background colour. So I'm going to go for black, I think. The reason why I'm going to go for black is because I want the other colours to stand out, and I think they really will if we go for black. So what I need to do is I need to cut my fondant the same size as the cookie. So I'm just lining my knife up with the top of the cookie. So I've gone like that and gone along, and then I just want to tidy these edges up here. Nobody wants a scraggy edge on their cookie. And then I'm just going to measure, put a little line in, and that's where I need to cut. Again, if you're using a knife, guys, be really careful. Okay, so now I'm going to pick it up. So now I should be able to lay that on. It should be the right size. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, now just by pushing it down, it'll make it stick to the cookie. You can use a bit of royal icing as well if you want to, just underneath to make it stick, but I think we're going to be all right there. Okay, now if you want to, you can add a little bit of design as a background on here. So if you've got any tools or anything that you've got, anything like this, then you could just choose one. I don't know, maybe something like this, and you might want to go across. You might want to choose something like this and maybe make a nice little pattern. You might want to just keep it absolutely plain, and that is fine too. Oh, I've started that, I'm going to have to finish that. Okay, so plain, or if you've got, like I say, a couple of little tools that you can use. Okay, now what I want us to do is grab our green, and we're going to make lots of little sausages. So lots of little sausages. So there you go, there's one. Try and keep them similar lengths if you can. If they're a tiny bit longer, that doesn't matter too much. Okay, so I'm going to make a couple of these. So all I'm doing is getting a ball of the green and then just rolling it in my hand. Okay, and we're just going to make a couple of these. So these are obviously going to be the stems, aren't they, to our beautiful flowers. Now once you've got a good couple, I think I'm going to do just one more on there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've got 6, but you go for however many you want to. So once I've got those, what I'm actually going to do is lift them up, and I'm going to place them on the cookie. And then just as a little band, just around, I'm going to use the yellow. So you want to just get another sausage and kind of flatten it out, and then it's just going to look like a ribbon that's actually around the flowers. Okay, so I'm just going to push that underneath. Again, using your knife, be really careful. So it kind of looks like a ribbon. Now we need to make the flowers for the top. Now, some of you may have some of these beautiful cutters, and as you can see on here, they're sort of flower cutters. Lots of different styles. So I'm going to do a couple with these, and then I want to show you how you can make your own as well. So if you don't have these, don't worry. So we're going to choose a colour. So I'm going to go for a nice bit of, this is like a fuchsia kind of red, isn't it? This is beautiful, fuchsia pink. So I'm going to roll that out. And then these are called push cutters. Can you see the bit that pops out the bottom? So this is going to create the shape, and then this is going to make the indentation in it. And you get those with most of these, they sort of pop out. So I'm going to go for this one. So you pop it on and push it down. So now we've actually got the shape cut out, And then to get any detail, you want to just push that down and pop it up again. And then when you take it off, you should find, oh, he's not going to come out, is he? Sometimes the thinner the fondant, the harder it is to get them to come out. So now what we want to do, again using a little bit of water, or your fondant might be okay and be all right to stick, is we're just going to pop that flower on the top there. So there's one. I'm going to use a different cutter and then I'm going to show you how you can do your own. So I'm going to get a yellow. I've got a tiny little cutter here, and then I'm going to show you, we can kind of stick that on there. And then purple. So this is if you haven't got any of those cutters, we can do a little rose. So in with a ball, in with a sausage. Okay, and then I want you to flatten that sausage out just like that. And now we're just going to roll. So just roll it together in a line like that, and you create a beautiful rose-shaped flower that you can stick on. So you might need a bit of water. So let's see, mine is quite, I must have very hot hands, look. Okay, so let's do another one. I think I'll go for a bit of this pink. So again, make sure it's really nice and soft in your hands, really nice and soft. So into a ball, into a sausage. Okay, give it a good old squidge, and then we're going to roll. So give it a nice roll, okay, and then you end up with your little shape like that. That can go next to it. Now I've got a little stem in here, so you can either do another little rose if you want to, carry on with your cutters, whatever you would like to do. So let's go for, I'm going to go for a yellow in there. Doesn't like coming out sometimes, do they, these ones? If you roll your fondant really thin, they do get a bit stuck inside. So down, pushing up, and then let's see if we can get that one to stick onto there. Is it going to do it today? Oh, I've broken it. Oh dear, what's going on with these cutters? I think they are quite old and a bit overused, I think. Let's have a look and see. Aha, here we go. Okay, so there you go. Oh, I've got one more stem in there as well. So I'm going to go for another purple, and I'm going to go for a really small rose. So let's just twirly, twirly, twirly. Look how tiny that is. Can you see that on my hand? How small that is. And then I'm just going to squeeze that one in there. Okay. And there you have a really quick and easy designed biscuit that you might be able to do as a party favour, or if you're going to have maybe a special dinner, then you can have these ready to give to guests. And if you checked out my video from last week, you can actually try and bag these up, so just like we did with the mum cookies, and you can bag them up and maybe put somebody's name on them, and they're really nice to put where people are going to sit, or in a nice basket to give at the end of an evening. So there we are, guys, a few different designs. So have a great week, take care, and lots of love.